Hello and welcome to another episode of Ewell Acres. Today we're going to continue on with our beekeeping discussions, and we're going to be doing the comparison between creamed honey and liquid honey. Let's get started. Now first off, when you're looking at honey, where does honey come from? Honey comes from honeybees and from the hive itself. And this is going to be liquid honey versus creamed honey. So we're going to go ahead and start with the creamed honey. This jar here is filled up with some creamed honey that we've done. As you can tell, it is fully solidified. What creamed honey is, it is a controlled crystallization of creamed honey. What we do is we take it, grind it down. The sugar crystals have a controlled, smooth consistency of peanut butter. I can tip it upside down and nothing is going to fall. It remains in a solid state. That's what creamed honey is. I can shake and shake all I want and it is not coming out. As you can see, I'm jostling this little table that I've got here, and the liquid honey is already starting to jiggle. If we go ahead and take a knife, I can go ahead and easily stick my knife in it, and the liquid honey is just pouring, typically what you would expect liquid honey to be. It's going to be a very viscous material. Now the honey itself can be different colors based on what the source of the nectar is. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how honey spreads on something. Let's use toast as an example. So first, we're going to go ahead and use liquid honey. These are two standard slices of bread that we have nice and toasted, approximately the same amount of time, so they should spread on a similar comparable surface. So first off, because liquid honey is very viscous, we're going to go ahead and first slide it on. As you can tell, it goes on very smooth and it spreads very thin, and it's still a little bit runny. Quite often you're going to see this in the form of a honey bear that you can drizzle out on top. It is very liquidy, and if I want to, I can even scrape it off. It has a very movable form. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what creamed honey is. And if you like what we're doing with our showing, just as a quick side note, don't forget to subscribe, click on that bell for notifications so we can continue to help you bring videos like this. Now, we're going to go ahead and take our creamed honey. As you can tell, it is very, very thick. It has the consistency of peanut butter. It's going to spread on a little bit thicker, and it is much harder to spread on. It has a very gel-like consistency, like I mentioned before, peanut butter. It is quite often used as a spreadable. That's why I like the creamed honey, because it works well. If you refrigerate it too much, it can sometimes make it a little bit harder. When you go and fill it in between your fingers, it has kind of a gooey paste feel to it, but it works really well. I like it because it's not going to be as gritty in case it sits for a while and it becomes fully crystallized. That's why I like creamed honey, because it has a very smooth consistency. And this is the difference between liquid honey and creamed honey. There really isn't that big of a deal. All it is a controlled substance of how you're going to deal with that crystallization. And that is all the creamed honey is. As I mentioned before, we're going to go ahead and fill it. It has a relatively smooth consistency. As you can tell, it's easily able to still maneuver and work with. This has been another episode of Ewell Acres, telling the difference between creamed honey and liquid honey. Thank you so much for joining us. We are very glad you're here. And what's your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Do you prefer creamed honey? Do you prefer liquid honey? Let us know in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, click on that little bell for notifications, and we look forward to seeing you next time.